Hello, everybody. Welcome to the cast. Welcome to the cast. Let's have fun today. I am your host, Big Boss, Jonathan Atias. Don't cancel me today. Today is a different day. It's a different day because it is just me as your sole host and guide through this journey. But don't worry, we'll do okay. We'll be fine. Another thing that is different about today is it's going to be a shorter episode. I'm trying to keep them up to like 30 minutes tops, more like 20 or 25. Because I don't know, who wants to sit for a whole long thing, bite size. All right, couple more housekeeping things out of the way, and we'll continue. We are looking for financial contributions. Rent doesn't pay for itself, so please let me know if you want to contribute to that. What else? Oh, Instagram, very important. My Instagram handle for this podcast is Let's Have Fun Podcast. Go follow. I think the most important thing for this podcast is feedback. I want your feedback. I want to know what you like, what you want to see more of, what you could use less of, and that way I can give it to you. Because if you like it but you don't say anything, maybe I won't realize that you do. Okay, two more things, and then we'll really get started. Number two, I'm looking for interns. What does that mean? I have a lot of ideas for this podcast, but I'm missing people, and also, if you want to have a good time, you want to have fun, then just reach out to me privately on Instagram, and we'll figure something out. You can, we can sit down, we can talk about ideas. You can be like, hey, I want to do this project. And in return, obviously you get a recommendation letter from me, and you can put it on your resume. You're like, I interned at one of the least well-known podcasts in the country, and no one's going to know that it's the least well-known. They're going to be like, that's cool. All right. And finally, I'm making gear. I'm making merchandise. But I'm looking for people who will, test it, who will buy it and wear it and let me know if it's good quality. If it washes well, if it gets ruined in the wash. So let me know if you'd like to participate. You'll get it at a much. I mean, I'm not like making the shirts here in my backyard. We're using real shirts, but I want it. If it's for my podcast, my fans, they deserve the absolute top quality that is out there. So just want to make sure, if you're interested, let me know. I'll tell you how to buy it, whatever, and you'll get it at zero margin. You'll get it at the cost that it costs, so that you can help me out, give me some feedback, tell me if it's good or not. Okay. All right, that is a lot. Let's break that up with a nice transition. All right, that was okay. So today we have 3 sections for the show that I thought of, and we're gonna go one by one. First, we're gonna have a more sort of like serious one, more like a thinking type of thing, and then we'll get into the other 2. So if you look at a product, let's say you're looking at a body wash. So you realize that there's so much about the product itself. Bear with me, this is going to make sense. There's so much about the product that is not really intrinsic to the product. What do I mean? When you buy a body wash, what you're looking for is something to, clean you, to make you smell nice, to nourish your skin, right? But then there are things that are additional to that, like for instance, the color of the actual substance of the body wash. That is not always intrinsic. They add colorings to make it. If you're buying like a natural one, then they might make it green, or if you're buying like a fruity one, they might make it red or orange. The bottle itself, it's why does the bottle have to look like anything? Why not just make a regular bottle? But it's all about kind of like marketing. They want you to get this vibe and this feel from the product, but it bothers me because it's kind of a lie in a certain sense. You know what I mean? Like you put the coloring there. It didn't have to be green. It could have been clear and it would have been the same. So it just bothers me a little bit because it's a lie. Not a lie, but it's a little bit, maybe, whatever. It's very, very subtle type of thing. So actually, what I do is in my shower, I place the shampoo bottle and the soap bottle facing the label facing away from me, because I don't want to look at it. Just because I want to train myself to not focus on the external things in life, the things that aren't really intrinsic, and really focus just on what is the actual thing itself. Because at the end of the day, you could have a beautiful bottle and a terrible body wash, or you could have an amazing body wash and a terrible bottle. Which one would you rather have? Number one. That's it. Thank you very much. That is number one. Now for the next section, we are having an ad. We're having a couple advertisements, and okay. This is a section that I'm working on, a segment, if you will. I call it um, just advertisements, and you'll get the hang of it. So basically, this generic bourbon company reached out and asked if they could sponsor my podcast, and I said, sure thing. What do you want from me? And they're like, oh, just talk about our product. I'm like, all right, so I'll do that. So this, they said not to use their name. And the thing is, when you drink their bourbon, you instantly become more attractive to the opposite gender. Um, all of a sudden, the light in the room gets a lot more romantic, and makes you seem a lot cooler. Um, what else happens when you drink this bourbon? It comes with a cabin in the forest. You have a cabin in the forest. When you start drinking this bourbon, you'll just get the deed in the mail, and you'll know how to hunt and how to cut wood and also cook. You'll make a tremendous pizza napoletana. All right, that's the ad. Buy the bourbon. Um, okay, we have two more sections. Section number one is I'm gonna kind of go through news, go through news articles, and I'm going to just kind of talk about them as these. I haven't picked out these articles. I'm looking up, by the way, because that's where my other monitor is. For those of you who are watching this on video, I'm gonna go online, uh, and I'm gonna look up a news website, right? Regular news website, Google News, which gives me news from all over the web. And I'm going to just start looking at the headlines, and maybe I'll uh, focus on one or another just to talk about them and to have a good time. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on this subreddit, which is like a parenting subreddit, which is basically where parents ask for advice, and we're gonna read a section and we're gonna give advice to them, drawing upon my years of experience as a successful parent of 0 children. Okay, Google News. So again, I'm trying out a lot of experimental things. Please do tell me which you like, which you don't, and why not. All right. We got Russia-Ukraine war. We will not waver. Biden affirms support for Ukraine. Um, one sec. One second. All right, here we go. We got a fight over a pet shelter gets ugly. 4 teens arrested after shooting at Miami-Dade cop. Um, these are boring. These are very boring. Fox sued. Okay, let's look at this one. Here, this looks interesting. From AP News, plastic surgeon who live streamed procedures on TikTok banned from practicing medicine in Ohio. Let's read about it. Uh, an Ohio plastic surgeon's state medical license was permanently revoked. Permanently, geez, seems a little excessive. After a medical board determined she harmed patients while live streaming their surgeries on TikTok. The Ohio Medical Board voted to ban so and so, also known as so and so, from ever practicing again in the state. Whatever, that seems a little bit excessive to me. The board said that she originally had her license suspended in November already. So all right, now it's getting a little bit more interesting. Neglected her patients as she live streamed parts of their procedure, spoke into a camera and answered viewers' questions all while the surgeries were taking place. Okay, so now I'm starting to get it. I thought she was just like televising the surgery, which is, it's not good, but she has approval that whatever. But no, it looks like she was like neglecting the surgery, like interacting with viewers, all this stuff. So that seems like a lot. But it's actually funny because I've read a couple. I've read a couple of things about like surgery in OR rooms, and like apparently they blast like I think the surgeon gets to pick the playlist or something like that because they can be in there for hours. I mean, there are surgeries that last for hours. They'll play like we think it's like a surgery is like a very like serious like solemn place. Nah, like they're blasting classic rock in there, like for real. This is a thing that happens. So never underestimate doctors. Okay. All right, that's enough for that. Let's go to the next one. By the way, I think next time I'm gonna come more prepared with headlines, but you get what you get today, and you don't get upset. Um, why are these so boring? Let's go look somewhere else. By the way, if you just like talking to myself, I can live stream if not talking to myself. If you like hearing me talk to myself like I'm doing now, then you can just um, tell me, and I can open up like a streaming platform, and you could just pay to listen to me talk all day. Um, okay, this is not working out, so let's switch to the next one. We'll we'll go to this one again. A parent at the park asked if I could assist roleplay stranger danger with their kid. Oh my god, hold on a minute. And we're gonna use this one. Wait, where is this? Trying to find. Here it is. Well, this one's gonna be good afterwards. Okay, let's see. Yesterday, I, a 30-year-old male, was at the park with my son, who is 3 years old. The park is one of our local parks we go to often. We're regulars. I know some of the other parents. Normal day, son enjoying himself, playing with other kids. At the park, I shadow him a lot as he's learning to socialize properly with other kids. It can be easy to lose track of if I don't keep an eye on him. At one point, he's playing by a slide set on artificial hill. Okay, it's a lot of detail, but let's keep going. Two other little girls, who I assume was their dad, were playing there as well. I did not recognize them and had seen them at the park, or had seen them at the park before. Where is this going? My son tried pushing past one of them, to which I instructed him to ask nicely. Nothing out of the ordinary. My son gets bored, runs off in another section, to which I follow him. This is where the father of two girls approaches me. He asks me, "Do you speak Spanish or English?" For context, we're in South Florida. I'm Hispanic, so it's not a bizarre question. I replied, "I speak both, but English is fine." Our conversation goes as follows, roughly. Dude, cut out some of the detail, man. He says, "Have you ever seen those videos where..." All right, we're going to have to cut this one out, but we're too far in, so we're just going to go with it. But, like, can you cut out the detail? Um, he says, "Have you ever seen those videos online where parents get strangers to approach their kids to see if they'll go with them, offering things like candy or stuff?" Me, a little bewildered by the topic. "Yes, I have, like stranger danger." Him, "Yeah, exactly. I want to ask you, could you help us out with that with my daughters?" Me, visually confused at this point. This man's really giving us a lot of visual clues and context. Very good. "What do you mean?" Him, I'll be there. It's cool. Just, approach them and offer them a candy or two. Go or candy or to go with you to another part of the park. See how they react. Me, with a WTF, what the blank face, and now scanning for my son because I'm just getting weirded out. "Oh, okay, gotcha. Look, I get it and understand, but this is our local park. I don't want other parents to get the wrong impression. Then I'm offering kids things I wouldn't even do to begin with. Sorry, wish I could help, but don't really feel comfortable with that." Him, now with a bit of disappointed face. "Oh, okay. Me. Well, good luck." I just walked away calmly but assuredly closer to my son. Part of my mind was racing, thinking perhaps it was a ruse to distract my attention, or if someone was recording us from a distance. That is a fair thing to think. I mean, sometimes. I guess my mind went places because of the odd nature of the conversation. Everything was fine. When I looked back, I saw that a woman, assumed his wife or mother, approached and they left the park. My question to other parents: is it a normal thing for parents to ask other random parents to do stranger danger roleplay? Was I being a jerk about it? Or is it as weird as I thought it was? Doesn't matter. Just chill. All right, let's keep looking. One more, and then one more. Screw it. We're already pretty close to the timeline, so we're gonna do this one because I thought it was great. This is a subreddit called "Am I the A?" You know what comes next. Am I the jerk? And people just basically post things that they've done, and they're asking, "Hey, was I a jerk for doing it? Am I a jerk for not allowing my parents to sleep in the same bed?" So right away, it's like, what is going on in your house that you have this kind of say? But let's keep reading. I think you know where this is going. I definitely don't. But there's no definitive answer on who's in the wrong. Also, for simplicity's sake, I'll be saying parents, but it's my mother and stepfather. Okay, so you got mother and stepfather, and then person. My mother and stepdad have been together since I was little. All right. I'm a 25-year-old woman with two older siblings, both male. When we were growing up, we were never allowed girlfriends or boyfriends to spend the night, which I felt was fair enough. When my brothers got to about 16, however, their girlfriends were allowed to spend nights, but they had to sleep in the spare room. Again, fair. That makes sense to me. I was always somewhat of a tomboy, so as you can imagine, teen boys didn't show much interest in me romantically, so I did, as opposed to athletically, I guess. So I didn't get my first boyfriend until I was already 18. My parents wouldn't allow him to spend the night at all, despite us both being over 18. I wouldn't have minded if my brothers had been held to that standard, but I felt as if they were favored over me. It isn't even because they disliked my boyfriend at the time either. Everyone seemed to love him. All right, so the stage is set. We're getting a little bit of a dissimilar treatment, but I think it's not impossible to hear because there are definitely different standards in this society for men and women. But let's keep reading. That relationship didn't last more than 6 or so months, so I dropped it after a while. I got with my now fiance when I was 22, and we've been engaged for a year. We're getting married in only a few months. Still, just like every time before, my parents wouldn't allow him to spend the nights until a few months after we got engaged, after I brought it up to them. It wasn't a conflict, but they knew I was irritated and allowed him to start using the spare room. We moved in together not long after, so it didn't really matter. A lot going on. Now, I may be a jerk. Here's where it gets unbelievable. I had so much fun reading this. My mother asked me about wedding planning. The first time she even contacted me since the move, and I told her I still had a lot to sort out, but I was getting through it, and she practically insisted on coming up to me and having a week of mother-daughter bonding time. Lost my place. There it is. Where she could help me with the wedding planning. My fiance isn't a very social person and is happy to be the money bags behind my wedding decisions. He he. He just likes to give little opinions, and I'm sure to include them when he does. Just a parenthetical between you and I, between the writer, the listeners, and myself. There's actually fiance and fiancé. One refers to the man, the other to the woman. I don't really know which is which. Just fun fact. Okay, back to it. We're almost done. Really, we're almost done. My parents arrived and we spent the first day going out to dinner. I'd like to point out that the two aren't married, so her step-parents are not married, and are steadfast that they won't be getting married again. Both of them divorced already, my stepdad twice. So as the night was slowing down, they asked to be shown to their room. I directed my mother to one guest room and my stepfather to another. We have a 3-bedroom with no kids yet, so we have the space. My mother said that there was plenty of room in one for them both, and instructed my stepdad to come in with her. I explained that just like she told me, it was my house and I didn't want them sharing a bed in my house. That is a power move. I basically repeated word for word what she would tell me when I'd complain about my brothers getting better treatment than me when it came to their partner. I told her that actually they were in the same position I was in because neither of us were married. She tried saying it different because she tried saying it was different because they had been together for almost 20 years. Now listen to this, guys. I told them that it didn't matter because this is my house and my decision is final. Just like how my mother would shut down any discussion about it back then. I was sure to mention how my brothers were allowed their partners, and I wasn't, but she claimed I was making it up. They stayed the night and left for home the next day, which I preferred because I was happy wedding planning on my own, and I haven't heard from them since. My grandfather has called me to tell me off for it, though. Wow, what happened to my reading skills? My grandmother has called to tell me off for it, though, so I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong. Am I a jerk? Okay. Wow. I mean, I don't know if you're a jerk, but you are definitely creative. That is some next level revenge. Yeah, I mean, I think we all have a little, sometimes small bones to pick with our parents or larger ones, and you kind of did a very crazy thing. I hope that was fun, and I hope you, my listeners, had a good time because this is the end of the episode. Episode 3. See you in episode 4. Remember, I'm looking for interns. Send me money. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Powered by River.
No, I'm trying to find a good one. Hold on. Back to the first one. All right. Woo! That's the episode, baby.